Prime Minister Keir Starmer faces tough scrutiny from MPs over the UK rising poverty and failing living standards. In this video, we break down key moments and explore leadership principles for making tough, practical decisions. Before we get into the details, if you love diving into political issues and enjoy hearing a principled take on them, then hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to join the conversation. It will help our channel reach a wider audience.
Prime Minister, thank you. You said at the top of the meeting that your vision for 3 years' time is that, in your words, I want people to feel better off. Just so we're absolutely clear, is the ambition that everybody in our society should feel better off in 3 years' time, including the poorest 40% of households?
Yes.
So you'll be aware of some quite troubling forecasts from, for example, the Joseph Rowntree Foundation that says that, in fact, having looked at all the measures that the government's announced on the table by the summer, the bottom 40% of households are not going to be better off in 3 years' time. They're actually going to be £1,200 a year worse off. So what do you think needs to change between now and the end of the Parliament so that everybody in our society is, in fact, enjoying higher living standards?
Well, we need to do a number of things. The first is we've got to get much better growth into our economy and create more wealth in the first place. And that's why we've put so much store on ensuring that we took necessary measures at the budget to deal with our inheritance. We then had a spending review which was targeted across the country. This question of making sure that if there is a thriving economy, it's a thriving economy in every part of the country and not just in some parts of the country. And it's why we've already in the spending review focused on things like the living wage, the national wage, and the minimum wage, and ensuring that wages are going up. They've gone up more in the last 10 months. They went up in the last 10 years. So that's the first part. The second part then is the poverty strategy that has to ensure that this is across the whole of society and every location, because in addition, as you all know, to the growth figures, we've had inequality variances across the country, place by place, and we have to have a laser focus on that, because whilst we want more wealth creation and the economy to thrive, and we do and we will, we can't have that as London and the South East and redistribution as a sort of one-word answer for the rest of the country. To my mind, that is fundamentally wrong.
Mr. Byrne.
The challenge that we've got, though, is that the Bank of England now forecasts that wage growth is going to slow down. Joseph Rowntree Foundation says that earnings for the bottom 40% are going to fall by £700 a year. The Office of Budget Responsibility says real household disposable income is going to fall to almost zero in a couple of years' time. Resolution Foundation says that the freeze on tax thresholds means that the real wage growth for the poorest will get obliterated. We've got council tax going up by 5%, food going up 4.5%, we've got energy bills up 10%, water bills up 26%, and Joseph Rowntree Foundation says that for those coming off fixed-term mortgages, they're going to be paying on average £1,400 a year extra by the end of this Parliament. Similarly, poor picture and outlook for renters. So we've got taxes and bills that are rising faster than wages. So the question remains, what else do you think is needed over the next year or two so that everybody is enjoying higher living standards by the time of the next election?
Well, if I just concentrate on two aspects of that. Firstly, the income side and then the cost side. On the income side, obviously, we have already pulled the lever of increasing minimum wages, which is on average of, I think, about £1,400 extra into everybody in effectively 3 million of the lowest lowest paid, above inflation increases for standard rates of universal credit. And then on the other flip side, if you like, free childcare is coming on stream from this September across the board from 9 months through to school starting age. Free school meals are being rolled out, breakfast clubs are being rolled out, limits on what you have to pay on school uniforms, and warm homes discount is £150 per household. That's gone from 3 million to 6 million households for this winter. So I do think there are things that government has done and will continue to do But in the end, the central focus has to be on creating more wealth and making sure that we have a growing and thriving economy. That's been the single biggest failure of the last 14 years, which is we haven't had an economy that has grown in any significant way.
These are all important steps forward, but having reviewed everything that you've just announced, the Resolution Foundation said that the poorest half of households, by the time of their next election, will still be £200 poorer than they were last year. So, the question remains, over and above what you've announced, what else do you think is needed in order that everybody in our society is enjoying high living standards in a couple of years' time?
I think we need a central poverty strategy, and we're putting that around the child poverty strategy, which we're rolling out in the autumn.
But you could cut people's taxes. I mean, if we taxed investment income in the way that we do work, if we tweaked up capital gains tax so that it was fairer, there would be enough money to deal with the fiscal pressures that we forecast and deliver a big, bold, working-class tax cut, just as they delivered in Australia. Surely that should be an idea that remains on the table going into the budget.
Well, I'm not going to be tempted to start speculating on what might or might not be in the budget. It's going to come in the autumn. We will get the forecasts. The Chancellor will set out her decisions according to that forecast, but I'm not going to be drawn into speculating on what that might be at this stage.
Well, Chair, the Prime Minister didn't rule that out, so I'll take that as a win.
We're in for a long 6 months, because no Prime Minister or Chancellor ever says in a budget, of course we know. Every day there'll be a story saying doesn't rule out.
Okay, we absolutely, Prime Minister, we're very aware.
As a political leader, when you are set on an ideological path that doesn't align with timeless principles, it's easy to lose sight of and not address the real challenges people face. These everyday struggles demand grounded, effective policies that support struggling businesses and help the country thrive. Sticking rigidly to an ideological agenda that contradicts the values you claim to believe in can weaken your political standing and create serious consequences for those relying on your leadership. To make better decisions, surround yourself with people who offer varied perspectives, who can challenge your assumptions and bring fresh insights. The range of thought is critical for crafting policies that truly serve the people. By embracing principled perspectives, you can create solutions that uplift communities. Please share your thoughts on decision-making challenges in the comments. If you have benefited in any way from this video, please subscribe, like, share, and be sure to leave us a comment.